society. The network has gotten totally out of control the last decades, and without enemies left, normal innocent people are murdered to keep the sick system alive. Gang stalking, organized stalking, and electronic harassment, electronic torture, are highly developed methods used by these services to eliminate people. The aim is to cause the physical or mental death of the target, making this premeditated murder and the ones initiating, facilitating, and executing these crimes murderers. Gang stalking, organized stalking, is about breaking laws, horrible human rights violations, and murdering the target. There are no laws approving of gang stalking, organized stalking, or electronic harassment, electronic torture. A director of the Dutch Secret Service said some years ago that the law does not apply to them. Just another lie. Of course he was not telling the truth. The law applies to everyone. He just wanted his personnel and agents to believe that they can do their thing without being prosecuted in court for the crimes they commit. Gang stalking, organized stalking, is a very serious crime as the aim is to cause the physical or mental death of a person. It is murder. While most targeted people are not able to tell us what happened because they are dead or collapsed, survivors do, and most of the time their stories are true horror stories. Their lives wrecked, financially ruined, isolated from family and friends, children stolen by ex-partners, removed from jobs, relationships destroyed. And many survivors also cooked and burned alive with electronic weapons, directed energy weapons. Involvement of neighbors in murder. A director of the Dutch Secret Service said some time ago that they do everything to protect their own personnel and agents. And that is just what the cowards do. They use other people to do the gang stalking and stay out of sight themselves. They use lies to get people like neighbors to cooperate with them. Not knowing what to do, most neighbors do the things they are asked to do. The second time they are asked, the neighbors are confused again and most will participate, but after a while they just do it. This is how the Secret Service's network operates. They involve everybody, including children, to get their job done. They do not tell the neighbors. They drive the target out of his mind, into insanity, a state in which the target may attack his stalkers, in this case being the neighbors. They just don't care about other people. They don't care about the neighbors of the target. They don't care about children, because they all are psychopaths. They fail themselves as human beings. Participating neighbors become murderers. In many cases, the neighbors just do what they are asked to do, and the targeted person commits suicide, collapses into a psychiatric patient, commits a provoked criminal act. Collapses of continuous suffering, constructed car accident, etc. When this happens within a few months after the start of the harassment, only a few neighbors will worry, feel guilty. Other neighbors like to believe that they helped to remove a dangerous person from society. Although in most cases they know that they have participated in causing the physical or mental death of the target. Most neighbors certainly know that they have committed crimes, but it was only for a short period, and perhaps they did the right thing, so let's not think about it. When the targeted person remains functional and is not showing any signs of strange behavior, a major problem is created for the Secret Service's psychopaths. The lies that have been told do not hold anymore, and they must make up new lies, and more lies, etc. Participating neighbors now definitely will realize that they have become part of a sinister plan to damage, even murder an innocent person, and that they may have become murderers themselves. Is destroying the life of a person murder? I believe that in a court of law you can prove that gang stalking is about murder. The aim is to cause the physical or mental death of a person. The attackers do not care what happens to the target. It is fine with them if the target commits suicide or dies in a constructed car accident. Neighbors do not know all details and are certainly not told that any death is okay. Of course, anybody feels better if the target, for example, collapses into a psychiatric patient, financially ruined, instead of committing suicide. Then they do not have faced the ugly results of their criminal activities. But they were just lucky, and for the target this is the same effect. Life is over. I call this causing of mental death murder as well, and the ones causing it murderers. Once a murderer, always a murderer. With persistent participating gang stalking neighbors realizing that they have become murderers, there is no way out for them anymore. This is exactly how the Secret Service's network operates. Involve everybody in crimes, Make them participate in crimes so that they can be compromised. Many people around the target, including neighbors, are told that every movement of the target is recorded, taped, but do not realize that their actions are observed and recorded as well. This is not the end of the story. The problem is that once you are a murderer, you stay a murderer. You cannot say, I do not participate anymore and now I am not a murderer anymore. That would be nice, but you are wrong. Murder is the worst crime you can commit in your life. Link Secret Service, fear for the truth to be revealed. 17. Gang stalkers and people cookers are murderers. The crimes they commit belong to the worst crimes in history. Organized Stalking, A Target's View, booklet by Eleanor White. Gang stalking video on YouTube. To all politicians of the world. The only way to save the world is to stop your national secret services. Breaking laws and violating human rights in horrible ways has become a way of life. They are responsible for most problems in your neighborhood, in your city, in your country, in the world. Make them responsible for what they are doing. Let them account for in detail. Force them to open up their organizations for thorough investigations. Stop their funding if they do not cooperate. Replace directors and staff immediately by normal people for starters. Please help to spread the message or donate. Stapeg Foundation Stop Electronic Weapons and Gang Stalking. http www.stapeg.com. Stichting Stapeg Stop Elektronische Wapens and Growth Stalking. http www.stapeg.nl in Dutch. Peter Mooring.